Whoa. All right. It looks like the stream is already live. Man. New channel. But man, we gotta get ready. We gotta start this show here. I wasn't expecting the live stream to start immediately as soon as I hit go live. Oh, I know. Oh man. Okay. Let's go ahead and extra late secret stream ahead of the Japan election tomorrow. Parenthesis, who cares? Not necessarily who cares about the Super Bowl anyway. I know a lot of people who are saying, hey Joe, you want to go do Super Bowl stuff? I'm like, well, sure. I gotta still kind of pick. Oh man. Yeah, I 100% bet no one's gonna be watching this stream right off the bat because this is a brand spanking new channel. But you know what? I uploaded one short. I uploaded one freaking short, and the thing got like close to 2,000 views now. It is going, yeah, 2,000 views. And man, none of the videos I've done before on any other channels I've done have grown that fast. So I'm like, okay, something. Yeah. Oh shit, Ari, fucking A, nice to see you here. Oh my man. Dude, you know, this stream is going to really be in preparation, again, for the Japanese election. Because you know what's going to happen tomorrow? There's going to be a handful of guys who are like, okay, cool, Super Bowl. Yeah, let's go ahead and enjoy our time. And then guess what's going to happen? The market's going to open. The FX market weekly open's going to occur. And then they're going to be like, oh, okay, I guess I have to kind of catch up on some trading expectations. I guess I have to do a little bit of research going into the week ahead. I know I want to just kind of relax and do Super Bowl stuff, but I've been slacking on everything I need to do in order to stay on top of shit for the week ahead because I'm trading, right? Well, guess what? This stream is gonna get clipped out and it's gonna end up helping out a bunch of people because those handful of people who are after the Super Bowl is all well and done and after the markets go live are gonna be saying, huh, wasn't there something important in Japan happening today? Wasn't there something important going on? Huh, and then they go ahead and be like, dollar yen, Japanese election. Let me do a little searchy search. And man, hopefully I get some clips out tonight and we'll have some more videos with some more views. We're gonna pump those numbers up, right? So let's go ahead. I think this is face camera screen cap. Oh man, wow, that looks weird. Don't know. I'm pretty sure I accidentally duplicated myself in the face cam scene. Technical issue. We're all fine. We're all good. Yeah, I don't know how the hell you found the channel, dude. I think YouTube is like, hey, this guy really likes this boss man. We should probably recommend this channel to him that has 0 subscribers, 0 viewers. I'm pretty sure you're the first subscriber. I've made no announcements about this channel on the Discord. There's going to be, maybe you're anticipating it because there's now a new channel, right? Maybe there's going to be a little bit of a rebranding. So I'm getting everything holistically set up, and as a little sneak peek for you, Ari, right now, and for anyone who comes in and finds this, there's a website now. There's a boss trading website, and it's coming out, and it's looking pretty good, and it's got indicator stuff on it. I searched Joe Boss, 3 results. Very, very good. I'm glad I own my niche of my personal name. Oh man, I'll tell you right now, that really actually does suck. When someone searches up your name and someone else comes up and you're like, no, I'm on the 3rd page of Google. You have to keep going. Okay, so let's see here. Oh man. Is it laggy for you? Yeah, I don't know why this is, but it's pretty laggy on my end. Oh, I'm gonna open Chromium, and I'm going to take this link here, and I'm going to open Chromium on another browser once it's open here. I don't get what's going on with Brave and my computer, but it's been incredibly choppy on Brave using TradingView. I've been pretty upset about it. Let's see here. Okay, cool. We are now set. Yeah, that's way smoother. Oh my god, that's so much smoother. That is so much smoother. Get this out of here. Yeah, we can leave. We don't need to save that. We can save this. Also, I got something else. Here. Because we're not just going over a chart. We're not just gonna do this and call it. Also, I'm gonna turn down the music a hair because I want to make sure that my voice is always able to overpower. I was kind of looking at the audio balancing. I'm getting into the videos again. Yeah, I'm getting into audio balancing and editing and whatnot. So now I'm looking at the audio balancing from the last stream. I'm like, oh my god, the music is overtaking my voice. I have to turn this damn music down. Anyways, the cool thing that I have here for us today is obviously, all right, you're in the group. You know what this is. This are the notes, but I have something extra here. So here, right above me, are the Outlook notes. We're just going to go over the summary things here. And then we're going to highlight 1 or 2 things relevant to our Outlook, and what we should be expecting for the Japanese snap election results coming out tomorrow. And then these are just some articles that we'll be looking at. And then this is the research channel that we have all in the research Discord forum where we have all the stuff getting posted. And then there's some extra stuff here about Bitcoin. I posted this into the Discord. We're not going to go over this stuff. We're just going to go over this right here. And then a handful of stuff over... it would be nice if I had like a little flag icon to say like, hey, this is the US, this is Japan, right? So February 8th, Prime Minister Takaichi wants to gain seats, strengthen her majority. So let's kind of warm up here. Let's warm up. Let's get into figuring out what exactly we should focus on. Let's get precise. So here's what the chart currently looks like for the month. We're going now into, let's see here. No, this is for the day. These are actually daily ranges. Man, that looks so good for trading on the daily ranges. All right, let's see here. 6 hour, which should give us weekly ranges. Yeah, it's just going up and to the right. And now we did just start a new month, so let's check out the monthlies. I'm getting an encoding error. What? Oh. It was just my recording. Okay. All good. The stream is still going because for some reason the recording of my OBS video also Thank God this is the warm-up. Thank God this is the warm-up. Okay, so let's get into this. First thing I see here, without looking at any of the research, without looking at any of the outlooks, any of the expectations, anything that anybody else wants to influence us on as far as trading goes. First thing I see is we have a gap trade. And by a gap trade, most people think of these sorts of things where price literally gaps like this. When I'm using these indicators, I'm looking at probability gaps. And the way I describe a probability gap is the space that is the trough between two peaks in this distribution of the indicator called range probabilities here. So all we're doing is we're looking at this peak here, which says, hey, there's a going back throughout the entire chart's history, there's been a cluster of tops for the month that occur right around here relative to the open. Same thing with here, same thing with here. Oh, there we go. And now in between these peaks are your troughs where you get lower probabilities. And you can see the exact probabilities on the right-hand side here. And hopefully that makes it a little easier to see, right? You can probably see these numbers a little easier now. So you can see the numbers here are highlighted and larger than the numbers right here. And then these numbers are large. So these generate your peaks, these generate your troughs. And right here we have quite a wide trough before we see another bump up higher in odds. So that trough looks like this. All right, so let's go ahead and delete all of these drawings. We don't need the drawings anymore. That's all I wanted to demonstrate. So now that we know where the peaks and the troughs are, what's this gap, this probability gap idea? The idea is kind of like a breakout, except when price starts moving up into these lower probability areas, you set kind of the expectation that, hey, we're gonna start to move as close as possible to the next highest probability spot. So if we do set an expectation where the dollar yen goes higher, the expectation should be, hey, this whole area right here, this whole trough, we're going to trade, and then go up, trade, make the top for the month around here, and then probably go down. Or if there's enough fiscal stimulatory expectations out of the yen, we could then kind of go into nowhere's land, and this is all tail risk. All this, that's the tail literally of the distribution here. So we can literally draw a line and threshold and say, hey, right here, let's say at this red line right here, that's where we get the threshold between when we start experiencing more significant likelihoods of seeing really far off, really super high, above 160 tail risk pricing, and something more, you could say, nominal within the, you could say, historical, statistical characteristics of dollar yen. And hopefully that actually was pretty entertaining and pretty straightforward and clips well, because we got to get these videos out and these clips out to everyone who's gonna be late to the game, the actual game of trading dollar yen, who has exposure to dollar yen after they're done watching the game. Stay on top of your work. So we can go ahead and start looking at some information geopolitically, but let's stay focused on price for now. Before we get into these notes, we're going to do a quick Control F, USDJPY. Isn't that cool? You just having Obsidian notes with all your stuff in it, Control F search. Hey, what is this asset? And what information am I looking for this asset? This is actually pretty damn useful. So right off the bat, we have 8 hits. First one is from Nordea. Let's just read the sections here in bold, right? And actually, we don't need it so big, but there we go. I kind of like the, oh, I know what I can do. I don't want to read so horizontally. So what I can do actually is this. There we go. Now that's a little easier to read. I'm not darting my eyes across the entirety of my screen here. And then I can actually probably make this even a little bigger. Okay, that's better. So again, we're good. We're set. We're ready to go. Oh man, I made probably a little mistake of trying to do this stream late at night. But I was busy working on some other stuff, and I had to make sure I was on top of the research. But I also wanted to make sure I did this video, so I'm like, okay, it's just gonna have to be done late at night. No more excuses. We're doing the stream, and we'll do it live, if you get that reference. He's on the big rig. He's 18. Just was prob indicator last week. Yeah, man. Oh boy, said it again. I got a green tea trader watching right now. Man, I'm glad you're able to relax, because I just started relaxing. I had dinner. I got all my stuff, and now I'm like, my body's and my mind's like trying to shut down. I'm like, no, you need to be excited. You need to be ready. We have to clip. We have to make clips. We have to make clips. We got to pump up the YouTube numbers, man. And my brain's going, no, I can't handle it anymore. I can't handle it right now. We'll deal with it when we get there. This will be a problem for me in the future. Okay. I promise we'll get to reading this stuff now. So we just want to focus on the stuff in bold, right? Let's see here, and hopefully maybe you've been reading a little bit of it. So this is actually more focused on euro dollar here. So we can kind of move on to the next bit here. Speculation of FX intervention to support yen. Such interventions were denied by the U.S. Treasury Secretary, and the yen has started to weaken again, and the U.S. dollar has rebounded, clearly also against the euro. Okay, such moves, so all that preamble there, such moves once again suggest that the U.S. dollar is not on the verge of a collapse, and worries towards the status of the U.S. dollar can ease as fast as they arise. The U.S. dollar will weaken further going forward. Okay, simple, straightforward. That's a dollar weaker bias, but we want more yen-specific stuff. All right. Oh, this is more, yeah, there we go. This is from Seb. JPY, assessing election implication and risk premium in yen. This is exactly the kind of information we're looking for. Okay, so first off, based on approval ratings, Takaichi should be able to capture a strong majority on election day. However, election outcome uncertainty is elevated as the previous coalition partner has switched to the opposition, KMT, I believe, and Takaichi being popular among younger cohort that have a lower participation rate when it comes down to actual voting. So there could be a bad surprise is what they're saying, but it seems pretty straightforward. Like if you look at this chart, Takaichi's approval, she has better approval than Ishiba. She has better approval than Kishida. She's about on par with this guy, Suga, at his peak, and Abe, like way long ago towards the last decade. So that's a distant memory. And Takaichi actually was a peer with Abe as far as I'm concerned. Okay, scenario for the election comes, I'll just say that again. A scenario for the election outcome is illustrated in the right chart below. Using the estimate for risk premium in dollar yen from the above analysis, one can find a range. Getting back to peak risk premium on a strong majority for Takaichi would push dollar yen to 160. So if Takaichi comes out and gets a strong majority So we're gonna cross 160. Isn't this nice? Should dollar yen have a sharp reaction and test 160 once, one can probably expect intervention in the FX markets. And conveniently, Wednesday, February 11th is a holiday in Japan, which offers less liquid markets and an opportune movement to intervene. So imagine the people who are going to watch the Super Bowl on Sunday and didn't spend any time doing their proper research. They're going to be scrambling after Takaichi likely wins. And if she gets that majority, it's going to send dollar yen higher, and everyone's going to be like, oh, that's hunky-dory. Oh, everything's all well and good. And then, because they didn't read any research, they're not going to know about this risk on the Japanese holiday of February 11th. People who follow the Bank of Japan and follow the Ministry of Finance know that actually this is a pretty common occurrence, that they try and do interventions. I remember explicitly a handful of times this exact scenario has happened before, where interventions come in proximity to holidays because they cannot intervene. That everything closes during the holidays. They can't intervene, so they get the intervention done before markets have to totally shut down and potentially run away when they cannot intervene. So they do kind of a preemptive intervention beforehand. Now, those prior times that I recall were more intense intervention periods, but I'll just say when dollar yen like really moved 2, 3, 4, 500 pips in really, really quick succession, let's just say, and it was completely expected. I would say this is not the nominal consensus expectation, is that they will intervene on February 11th, but understanding that this is an option, that this is a risk, is part of doing the research. This is the main issue. This is what you have to know. This is what you have to be aware of. This is why we read outlooks from different institutions. All right. So now let's go on to some more price-related stuff. Should the U.S. Treasury choose to participate in spot interventions, it will naturally play out as a broad U.S. dollar negative, again, as it involves printing dollars to attain a foreign currency, in this case, the yen. So let's see here. Hard for euro to break out with yen weakening, okay? Fed rate check in dollar yen speculation, Fed to print dollars to print yen. So this would probably send euro dollar like way back above 120 in this scenario. And there are plenty of other analysts that are looking for catalysts to send euro dollar back above that, because there's a baseline consensus expectation that the dollar should be getting weaker this year, but go ahead. It's like pulling teeth trying to get these analysts to say, okay, what is going to be the catalyst? What are the exact risks that we're looking for? What are the days? What are the economic events? What are the specific things we need to watch that could be the catalyst if our expectations are over the trend here of 2026 to go above 120 on euro dollar? What are the dates? What are the potential catalysts? A major one off the top of my head that I know about, that a lot of people talk about, is the tariff risk of, hey, the U.S. Supreme Court go ahead and decides that the tariffs that Trump put on are unconstitutional, and then Trump has to do this massive, massive payback. Yeah, that would be a huge, huge, huge deal, right? That would be a huge deal. That would probably be one of the catalysts to send your dollar way, and every other currency really, really high against the dollar. Dollar would massively inflate at that point. That would be a big deal. And we're still watching that in the research thread. We're still watching that. Right now, the Supreme Court is actually on hiatus. They're not going to be making a decision on it for another few weeks. I think not until late February, early March. They're not going to be back in session to make a decision on it. So we can kind of relax on that specific catalyst. So let's continue on. Oh, look at this, more scenario analysis. Overall, the main cause for dollar-yen outlook is that Takaichi achieves a comfortable majority following the yen weakness, but also intervention. February 11th, an opportune day, as discussed above. However, after that, the risk premium in yen falls to compress, and dollar-yen tracks the path for US yields. So these are the different scenarios here. So this one in dark green here, big majority and intervention. And then this one in black where you're going like to, what's that, 163, super majority and intervention. The downside here, so this kind of tan-ish one, I'm going to try this. This is new. Okay, I don't think that worked. Yeah. I thought that would be better. I thought that would work better. Let me go ahead and switch back. Oop. Switch back. Technical issues. Don't look. Technical issues. I swear I know what I'm doing. The life of having to use Hyperland. You have to know all the hotkeys and all the shortcuts and be like, well, hold on, I didn't forget that, did I? Again, once you stay on a tiling window manager for long enough, things eventually work out. Okay, let's go on to the next major one, because this is all pretty straightforward, right? I'm pretty sure we can all agree this is all pretty straightforward. All right, let's move on to the next one. Actually, that's pretty much all the mention for dollar yen. We have this one right here, and that's pretty much it. As far as these notes go. And then we'll get into these over here. These news reports. And just kind of peruse what the tabloids are saying. And by tabloids, I mean Reuters and the one Bloomberg article I was able to find. Oh man, the front page of Bloomberg, it looks like a tabloid wreck right now. Okay, let's see here. The results of the Japanese general election here, the snap general election, will shape expectations for fiscal policy, particularly the feasibility of a consumption tax cut. So when you're actually looking at the political policies and the fiscal policies, this seems to be, from what I found, one of the primary things, other than Chinese defense spending, because people they want some deterrence against China, simply put. So other than that, which definitely is driving Takaichi in the polls there, the more China says anti-Japan stuff, the higher Takaichi goes in the polls every single time, because she's going out and saying, hey, we need to continue rebuilding the military and spending a bunch on defense. We should be stimulatory and do that. And the other people are like, no, but this is one of the things that drives your popularity with people. That message resonates with. So let's continue on. The vote also has direct implications for the political standing of Prime Minister Takaichi, increasing the risk of heightened market volatility, once results are confirmed on February 9th. Now, these guys, MUFG, I don't know if this is their Japanese or their US branch, because they can sometimes be a day ahead or behind. So I'm still just going to say, hey, the Japanese election, at least in my part of the world, comes on February the 8th. So let's continue here. A recovery in LDP support, which is Takaichi's party, would reinforce the Takaichi trade, reflecting expectations of a more stable political base and a tilt towards expansionary fiscal policy, including the prospect of tax cuts. Very, very good. Let's go ahead and check this out because I remember this being particularly interesting, right? So, as a little bit of context, budget deliberations for the next fiscal year in Japan are likely to get underway relatively quickly after the election. So, we're immediately going to get hit with a bunch of discussions about where the money should be spent fiscally for the government over the next few months, going likely into the summer. Assuming no change of government, bringing proposed consumption tax cuts back into focus. All right. The LDP's manifesto adopts the same approach, pledging to advance discussions with the National Coalition on the funding and scheduling of a 2-year tax exemption for food and beverages. So no tax on food and beverages. I wonder if that includes alcohol. Shimbun, I believe that's how you say his last name. Yomiuri, I think I butchered that. Yomiuri Shimbun reported on the 21st of January that consumption tax revenue remains a core funding source for Social Security programs such as pensions, and that opposition to tax cuts are still entrenched within the LDP. So we'll see. Hopefully this doesn't end up hurting Japanese Social Security. Try and explain to Might the math in the code if you can, bro. To Might? Oh, tonight. Try and explain tonight the math in the code if you can. I'm not gonna go into specifics on like, hey, this is exactly how the statistics in this thing is programmed and whatnot. That's considered trade secret. That's considered effectively proprietary. That's why it's an invite-only indicator. It took a while to build it. There's a lot of people. I mean, what will be nice is at some point in the future, if I make a free edition of the ranges. After I do a few things here to the pro version, I'm considering getting a free version of the ranges out that have a bunch of features stripped out, and they are just returning some empirical data, because what's useful about this math, about this indicator, is how it's able to fit really well to a bunch of different assets, no matter really what their shape is. So you can throw it on a bunch of different charts and it will give you a really good representation of the distribution that you're trying to model without having to go through a bunch of hoops and take a bunch of assumptions for whatever distribution it is that, pick your poison that you decide to use. So I don't go into detail on that front. And I can't really, otherwise I would just be kind of giving it away for free. As much as I would really, really, really like to, because I find the math truly super, super interesting. It's quite a bit of linear algebra, I'll just say that. It's not like, oh, here's 5 lines of code. It's a chunky bit of math. It's a chunky bit of math to get this to work. And yeah, some legit linear algebra. I had a lot of fun learning how to build it, man. I had a lot of fun learning how to build that indicator. Okay. Okay. An escalation from here could accelerate dollar buybacks along renewed. I'll leave that, guys. I'll leave this to you guys to read. Again, we're trying to focus on Japan tonight. I am tired. It doesn't seem like I'm incredibly tired, but I am ready to conk out. So I have to stay focused on the yen stuff. And we're going to go through these inform ourselves and say, I mean, effectively, we're already kind of sold. Let's just do a quick little review of what we know so far based on everything that we've read, right? Let's just do a quick little review here. What we are using the indicator to do is figure out, okay, where are we going to trade next in a situation where we go higher? Probably here, which is around 159.50. This is the next most likely spot to go. However, we have a geopolitical catalyst, and that geopolitical catalyst is the general election in Japan. If Takaichi gets a big majority and we get some intervention on February the 11th, which is a holiday, we can end up with reasonably going to that price. If we actually end up with something more akin to getting a super majority, so if Takaichi is able to get, I believe there were some polls saying she was going to get 300, the LDP is going to get 300 seats in the Diet. Oh my God, that actually really would be a super majority because they only need about 150 seats in order to start appointing people, again, with their coalition partner currently. They need about 150 seats combined to form the majority government and to start putting people in charge of commissions in Japan. And that's how they can actually get stuff done and how Takaichi can have success. She at least needs about 150. And some of the polls that are saying 300 is kind of hard to believe. I'm going to withdraw thinking that that's actually going to happen. But in the scenario where you do have that surprise, you're going to see this black line here, supermajority / intervention, really high move. So you're talking 162, 163 over here on a dollar-yen chart. And that is just going to totally blow away expectations. At that point, you're talking about going up, up, and away, right? You're talking about going and trading way the hell up here. Way the hell up here. So that's the review of what we know so far. That's the review of, okay, we've now done the research. We've collected our research. We've read our research. We've found the important bits. Those are the important charts that we wanted to look at. We got the information that we needed. Thank you, Seb, for that information. Thank you very much. Now, over here, we use the indicators to try and price some things. Okay, right around here, this is the threshold for probably trading up in that direction until we get into this area right here. And then once we break higher, now we're dealing with prices in the 162s, the 163s potentially. So if you get intervention, you're going to have a volatile snapback, right? So you can't just focus on explicitly the upside. If you just look at the analysis that says, we're going to go up, we're going to go up, we're going to go higher, we're going to go higher and higher and higher and higher, you're just going to end up ignoring all the things saying, hey, they're going to intervene. The BOJ is going to intervene. They're going to intervene if this goes high enough. And you're just going to get totally ruined. All right. You have to pay attention to when the BOJ says, hey, we don't want this thing to go that high. And then listen. And then still trade long, but pay attention. Right? Now, I'm not telling you to trade long. But there's a very clear catalyst here with Takaichi. If she wins and she gets a majority, she's able to get into government, this is probably going to go up to 160. If Takaichi gets a super majority, this could very easily go past 161. And then when the yen is moving that far up, that far fast, going into February 11th, which is a holiday, the Bank of Japan probably is going to tell the U.S. Treasury, hey, please buy some yen. Please buy some yen so we can stabilize our currency here. And one thing to note as to this, let's go back to our chart here. Let's actually do this. Let's go here. I need to bring up this. Trump endorses Japan's Iron Lady ahead of Sunday election. This was February the 5th. Yeah, look how happy she is with Trump, right? Dude, this is a great thumbnail. This is a great thumbnail. I think I found the live stream thumbnail. Oh man, yeah. I think I found the live stream thumbnail. Okay. So let's see here. Takaichi's ruling coalition set to win. Polls show Japan's first female leader. Inspired by Britain's Thatcher, Trump invites Takaichi at White House on March 19th. We gotta put that on the chart, guys. We gotta put that on the chart. March 19th. Trump meets, or rather Takaichi meets Trump. Takaichi meets Trump. And then we can make that a little smaller because this is just a thing here. That's how you stay organized. Just put a vertical line on your chart. As soon as you see like, hey, look at this. We're going to be, look at this. Trump invites Takaichi to the White House on March 19th. Just put it on your chart. Just put the line as soon as you get the date. Put the line on the chart. Everything's going to be fine after that. You then don't have to remember, and then every single time you pull up the chart afterwards, everything's just going to be hunky-dory. Actually, we can do the exact same thing over here. Japanese holiday. Banking. Holiday. It's not the time to take singing lessons right now. It's a little late. It's a little late right now to take singing lessons. Okay. And I can, yeah, there we go. We got things organized. Look at that. We got things organized. Wow. It's almost like it doesn't take a whole lot of effort. All right, let's see here. U.S. President Donald Trump gave his, quote, total endorsement, unquote, to Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi ahead of the national election in Japan on Sunday, adding he looked forward to meeting with her at the White House next month. This is gonna be a big deal. All right. So that is article number 1. I'm gonna have to, you know what? I'm gonna have to go back to Brave here. I'm gonna have to go back to Brave here because it's auto opening all these things over in Brave. Bum, ba, bum. Okay. Now, we're not going to go into these articles too deep. No, we're not. Okay, so Japan's election, what you need to know. This was also the 5th. We kind of went over stuff. Oh, there's some China stuff here. Oh. All right, beef with Beijing. So remember how I said, hey, one of the major reasons why people are supporting Takaichi is because China's been a bit more aggressive in their communication style with the Japanese. Well, here you go. A resounding victory could hand Takaichi new clout in an escalating dispute with powerful neighbor China. Current and former Japanese officials said, though Beijing has shown no signs of backing down. Weeks after taking office, Takaichi touched off the biggest dispute with China in over a decade by publicly outlining how Tokyo might respond to a Chinese attack on Taiwan. A strong mandate could also accelerate Takaichi's plans to bolster Japan's military, drawing more anger from Beijing, which has cast her endeavors as an attempt to revive Japan's militaristic past. And this is a big reason why people are still deciding to vote for her. Because there's a lot of people in Japan who want a prime minister who can stand up to China and who's willing to stand up to China for Japan's interests. Very, very good. There's also a bit here on the Sensero party, and I haven't done a whole lot of research on them, but they're on my list to at some point kind of do a deep dive on, because I saw Charlie Kirk go visit these guys in Japan a couple months before what happened to him happened. So yeah. And you know what? Speaking of the Super Bowl, this is kind of the last major event that Charlie Kirk was involved in planning this, the American halftime show. He was involved in, getting that set up and getting that organized. And now, it's still sad to see him gone. Still very sad to see him gone. So, with that said, let's continue on a very somber note. I get that, but we need to stay high energy and hydrated. Ah, man. Hopefully everything is good. So, February 5th. Former Japan currency chief says FX intervention should be backed by rate hikes. So let's see if there's any context here. Intervention. Currency intervention using Japan's foreign exchange reserves can deliver an immediate jolt to markets, but its impact would be more durable if accompanied by steady rate hikes atop informers. Let's see here. What's the quote? Intervention using actual funds can have a strong impact on markets, but its effects will be more lasting if the Bank of Japan also demonstrates a clear commitment to steadily raising interest rates, said Nakao, currently chairman of the Center of International Economy. I am so tired. I can't read straight at the moment right now. Oh my God. This is bad. This is very, very, very bad. Anyways, so we get it. He wants rate hikes when there's intervention going on. By responding appropriately to inflation through rate hikes, it may also be possible to curb excessive jumps in long-term government bond yields. Okay, that is the useful part. What's the rationale for hiking? That. You don't want to see long-term bond yields go and float away. Inflate away. All right, let's see here. So this is the one Bloomberg article I was able to find. The singular one Bloomberg article I was able to find. How Japan arrived at an economic crossroads. And this was February 6th. Okay. So there's just talking about tourists. There's a general view that this is changing, that after years of deflation and near deflation, Japan has managed to get CPI up to the Bank of Japan's target rate of 2% on a sustainable basis. That in turn means that the Bank of Japan will soon move interest rates from today's 0.75% to 2.5% or maybe 3%. That's a pretty high terminal rate. That in turn will strengthen the persistently weak yen, which will produce a little more inflation and maybe dissuade a few cheap tourists. Oh man, I remember when there was that huge devaluation in the yen. I had so many friends going over to Japan. So many people going over to Japan because it's like, dude, for $2,000, you can it's $1,000 a week and you can have a really, really, really fun time. It pays for all your hotels, all your travel, and like all these great meals. The yen was so affordable. That was a really opportune time for a lot of people to have some fun in Japan and get to see what Japan's about. Sadly, that also meant that a lot of people that really who aren't so great also ended up going to Japan. But I think we can all agree that those people shouldn't be doing anything with Japan. They should leave Japan the hell alone. Okay, so let's see here. Is there anything actually useful here? Look at charts of credit card spending. Some reckon Japan's labor shortage can be partially offset by getting more women working full-time, although there's an obvious conflict between this and trying to make them have more babies. There may be a mild easing of immigration policy, not if Takaichi gets in. That's for sure. The long-term population gain from countries where fertility rates are also well under replacement rate isn't entirely clear. More likely is that after 2 decades of cash hoarding and underinvestment by corporate Japan, labor will give way to capital spending, mostly on artificial intelligence and more automation. Japan's trying to do a lot of automation right now. They are really, really, really working hard on automating a bunch of different things, but we'll see what the Japanese industrialists come up with. Let's see here. So this is from the pond, acrossthepond.com. There we go. We got it all zoomed in proper. So then it's easy to read, easy to see, easy to understand. Actually, maybe I should just put myself over here. Hey, there we go. I've moved. I am now on the other side. Okay. Okay. Let's see here. The general election for the all-important lower house of parliament in the first national election since the ruling Liberal Democratic Party formed a coalition with the Japan Innovation Party, the JIP. It is also the first lower house poll since October 2024. Sunday's election takes place only 16 days after the dissolution of the lower house, the shortest interval in post-World War II history. Key election issues were economic measures, such as a consumption tax, which we reviewed earlier, and policies on foreign nationals, which we just saw with the Bloomberg article. The focus in whether the ruling coalition will secure a majority of at least 233 seats, right? That 250 number, that's what they need to start putting people into commissions. So then they can start getting their policy done. Prime Minister Sane Takaichi, the LDP's president, aims to push ahead with her policies, which, as what she calls reasonable expansionary fiscal policy by gaining a mandate from voters. She toured Tokyo on Sunday, and look at all these people. There she is. Yeah. And now for the second one, this was posted earlier today. No deep debate on espionage prevention laws. Okay. There was no deep debate during campaigns for Sunday's general election on measures to enhance intelligence capabilities such as an espionage prevention law, although the Liberal Democratic Party and others proposed such steps in their election pledges. Prime Minister Sane Takaichi, the LDP's president, made little mention of the issue in stump speeches, even though she listed an enhancement of intelligence capabilities as one of the key reform measures over which she wants to obtain a mandate from voters. Other parties supporting the enhancement made few references to the issue in stump speeches. Quote, "We're completely changed policy. We've completely changed policy. We have no choice but to ask for voters' judgment," Takaichi stressed in a stump speech. In this prefecture, I'm gonna butcher it. I'm not gonna try. But she preferred only to what she calls a reasonable expansionary fiscal policy. This marked a stark contrast to her press conference held to announce her intent to dissolve the House of Representatives, the lower chamber of parliament for the election. During the conference, she discussed the issue, including a proposal to establish an espionage prevention law. In her agreement to form a coalition between the LDP and the Japan Innovation Party, the two parties said they, quote, "will enact legislation related to intelligence and espionage prevention," unquote. Based on this, the LDP added in its election platform that the party will prepare related legislation such as a foreign agents registration law in order to prevent unjust inference or interference with other countries. Man, only 2 mistakes in that article. That was pretty good. But that is all the fat lady said. Man, I really look forward to doing more of these streams and getting things pushed out. I really look forward to, like what I teased earlier, getting the website done and done and done. I've been having a lot of fun getting it done. And also I've been working on indicators. I've been working on that rolling window library. And there will be at some point, because I'm doing these videos way more consistently, and because we have to pump those numbers up, we have to do tutorials. We have to do like public tutorials and a lot of trade examples, a lot of different strategies. I know some strategies that just flat out do not work, and I have to bang on them. I have to say, hey, no, this strategy sucks. Try not doing this strategy. This strategy sucks, and here's why it sucks, right? I have to go ahead and start getting involved in doing that. That'd be great. That really, really, really would be great to finally see, but it's been a lot of work. And for, again, I'd say maybe those going through a catalog and trying to find some information, it was like, oh man, I really didn't have this kind of energy 6 or 7 months ago. And of course, Ari knows why. Ari knows why I could. There were some days I could practically get out of bed, but now things are so much better. I'm feeling like I got my energy back. I got my focus on. I'm very, very productive every single day. Every day I'm getting up and I'm looking forward to doing videos. I'm looking forward to programming. I'm looking forward to building out things. And frankly, helping other people also get better at trading. Eventually we'll do a rant stream where I go on about trading expectations, right? Trading is about getting exposure to a change in expectations, right? That whole shebang. I don't want to go on that rant right now. I am tired. Okay. So thank you, especially you, Ari, for watching. And I know there's one other guy here. I'll say thank you to you too, even though I haven't seen you in the chat. So thank you, both of you guys, for watching. I wasn't expecting, frankly, anybody to watch, so I'm very grateful for you guys watching. And I'll be in the Discord. Just reach out to me even after the stream if you need me to do something for you, if you want to chat or whatever. Alrighty. Later. See you guys tomorrow. I'll be posting shorts tonight I'm going to throw these things into a clipper, and then we're going to get views. We're going to pump those numbers up. All right. Thank you guys. I'll see you in a bit.